There we go. It's good enough? Yeah, it blocks me too with the clock up there. Good. All right, welcome to the show. We've got Space Audits Alan in the house. Alan, what can we do for you today?
Welcome. I came to promote a couple of things and drop some supplemental GPS gravy that I came across while researching some other stuff. So I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but like when you've like moved on from a subject, so to speak, and you're researching something else, and then like you accidentally just come across like a treasure trove of everything that unlocks all the secrets of the thing that you just
did.
yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, okay, cool. So anyway, I got some follow-ups on that.
By the way, we forgot. Shout out to Israel. I always forget. I don't want to get this shutters taken down. So.
Shout out to the boys doing their thing or whatever.
Doing their thing. I mean, we got to get rid of who we got to get rid of. I mean, we kind of do whatever we want.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I get it. I get it. If I make fun of the Chinese government, it's okay. If I make fun of the North Koreans, it's okay. If I make fun of the Russians, it's okay. But if you make fun of one particular government, you're an anti-Semite. So I would never do that. I'm going to stick to the rules of the game.
Good, you don't want to get into that kind of stuff.
All right. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want the show taken down. All right, go ahead. What do you show me? Oh, by the way, I started.
All right, cool. One more time. All right, cool. So we got here a paper from Fliegel, Henry, and something else. Anyway, this is 1996. This is GPS and Relativity and Engineering Overview. So I guess right around this time, people had started, realizing that there's no relativistic corrections in the field of GPS, right?
Right.
So people were starting to ask questions, and this is the apologist response paper, right? So this isn't even like someone criticizing it. This is the official response, right?
Right.
Okay, so here we go. So introduction. So basically, what they say, just to summarize real quick, is they say that the effects of relativity are too small, and they don't differ that much from the classical effects. So therefore, we're good to go. We don't need to do it. There's no need to go through all these rigorous transformations and which reference frame are you in and who's your favorite polar coordinate system and all that kind of stuff.
Right? It's the kind of same thing as me. It's just like just generalize it.
Exactly. They're like you know what's way easier? Let's just use a range interval or a range measurement equation with a time interval system, and we can transform whatever we want. We don't have to account for anything.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. So they go through all that, and then at the end here, there's an interesting conversation cited, where basically they're having a back and forth. The Henry Fliegel guy and a couple other people. It basically ends out by saying,
"Keep going, I'll be right back."
Yep. And if one perhaps does the explicit recognition that the special relativistic effects, I mean, it took a long time to get general relativity down properly, but I think that it is more or less correct now. But its absence in any of the explicit acknowledgement of special relativity due to the effects of the speed of light being the same, whenever measured by an observer, leading to the relativity of simultaneity and the associated Lorentz transformation physics, there is nothing of that at all modeled in the current system, and I think that it should be. Thank you. So that's insane, because like what that means to break that down. So
by the way, I put on this science coat because if we're going to talk relativity, then I've got to be.
Oh hell yeah! You got to come correct. Exactly.
Now we can talk.
So the significance of that is that relative simultaneity is that there's no cohesive chain of events, because if it's relative to this person and that person and their velocity, like, so it's they can't, like, their whole thing is like a cohesive chain of events can't be established, blah blah blah. Well, it turns out that that's completely and they often give the example. They'll say, think of a moving train car and an observer in the center of it and an observer standing on a platform,
right,
stationary, and as the train car is going by and lightning strikes both ends, does the guy on the train see which one first and all this stuff, right? And they're like, we can't figure it out. Well, GPS figures it out for everyone, with no problem, all in the same instances. There's no problems with the cohesive chain of events. It completely debunks relative simultaneity to the point where they call GPS, they call it global simultaneity, and they say that just trust us. For some reason, relativity doesn't, like relative simultaneity doesn't apply in the Earth reference frame, but outside of that, there's definitely relative simultaneity. So just keep trusting us, even though it's completely falsified by that. Like, that's crazy, dude. That there's no the relative simultaneity corrections. Like, that's just. Like,
have you read all the Ron Hatch stuff?
I've read some of it. I've read some of it. A lot of good stuff in there.
And because he kind of just did the same thing. He had to go in and correct it, and it's not like he had to correct it with something from the world. He just had to like come up with an equation.
Yeah, and then So get this. So speaking on Ron Hatch, I actually, in the presentation I gave on Globebusters, I played a video where he's giving a little conference or speech or whatever, presentation, and he makes a reference to the ICD 200 document where it says that the velocity of the observer has to be accounted for, and for the accuracy of the speed of light and all that. So I was like reading the Wang paper. Let's see here. We'll go through the Wang real quick.
I tend to stay away from those papers.
Yeah, the Wang papers. Me too. So your boy Wang comes in with this analogy right here. Yeah. He's got a stationary observer here at R1 and then a moving receiver here at R2. When the moving receiver and the stationary receiver intersect at the same time and a signal is sent, according to relativity, they should both receive the signal at the same time. So the distance derived from this, based on how GPS works, should be the same distance. But what they find is that this guy, stationary, receives the signal first, and R2 receives the signal second with a delay exactly proportional to his velocity. So what that means is if you think about sonar and sound waves propagating through water, the speed of sound would be affected by the medium in which it's traveling in. So it would be relevant to that. And then the speed in which an observer here, gets the signal would be relevant to their speed in the water. So that's the mechanism for the variance in the speed being proportional to the observer. So there has to be the medium.
Doesn't that alone debunk relativity?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because Wang doesn't talk about an ether here tactically, but that's the mechanism for it, right? There has to be a background medium for that observer's motion to be relative to, for the speed of for the electromagnetic propagation to vary proportionally to it. If there's no medium like that, then it wouldn't vary in that way. It wouldn't be.
They should be simultaneous, right? If there's no medium.
Simultaneous. Yes, yeah. These two should receive the signal at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the issue with that he points out. And again, he doesn't make a reference to the ether, but that's the mechanism for it, right? So here we have the ICD document. And I was looking for these for a while, because if you could get it right from the government document, I mean, what better source can you get, right? Because these are just papers from guys that are on unpublished websites, right? So like they could just be hacks, right? Let's see what the government says about GPS corrections here. So we have here the corrections, and I found it on page 98 from the ICD document. This is from, forget the year, this is 1996. So they've changed it and reworded it a little bit in subsequent documents, and that's why it's harder to find now. But don't worry, your boy found it too.
Your boy.
In those ones. So we'll go over this real quick. So the Doppler shift of the frequency of the received signal, or the carrier signal, is proportional to the relative velocity of the receiver with respect to the satellite along a line of sight from the receiver to the satellite. So right there, so they're calling it a Doppler frequency shift, and that's just a fancy way of saying that the speed of light's changing, because that's the mechanism for it. There's not going to be a frequency shift proportional to the velocity,
right?
Unless the speed is actually changing itself. So that's like, dude, that's such like.
I mean, it gets worse than that, right? If that's true,
like,
if what they're saying is the case, then that also throws away the entire measurement of stars, or basing them off of redshift and Doppler, because again, you can't. How would you do that in space? What is bunching up the light, right? I mean, I can understand on Earth, because you get the light and you're going to have sound coming through, and it's going to get bunched up or it's going to get stretched out. But I don't understand light getting stretched out in space. Doesn't make any sense.
No, man, and it completely falsifies their interpretation, right? Because with Michelson-Morley, they had to reinterpret how they think light works, right? Because they couldn't find the motion that they needed to believe in their other coordinate system that they believed in.
Right.
So yeah, they like literally redefined all of physics over that, and like, so yeah, it would their current interpretation of the model is all facilitated under relativity and all that. So yeah, it would absolutely invalidate everything they say about it.
So can I give you something to look? Oh, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just real quick, because this is the last document. Real quick. So these are the modern documents. So instead of saying it verbally, now they show you a diagram, and then this is how they hit it in the to stop you from searching like Doppler velocity, frequency change, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So here we go. So GPS time, the signal sent to the receiver, and then it says user position, velocity, and clock bias. So how is it getting the velocity? Well, the speed of light's varying, and it's already accounted for in the range measurement equation and the time in the GPS time interval system, right? Because all the atomic clocks are synced at the same time.
Oh boy,
So-
atomic clocks. You ruined that one for me too.
So that's it. Yeah, dude, atomic clocks are great, man.
Don't believe in atomic clocks, folks. It just makes me laugh. Anyway, I've learned so much stuff this week about just humiliating. I mean, did you know, if I asked you, do they date dinosaur bones? How do they date dinosaur bones? What would you tell